Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to our channel. This channel is run by two sisters, so I'm going to be your host, Star. And for today, we're doing a sketchbook video. It's been a while since I've done one on the channel, I believe, but I'm always using my sketchbook. Always, but I'm using it quite consistently. But I very much want to finish this sketchbook within the next year because it has already been over a year since I started this sketchbook, and it's quite big. And it's the biggest sketchbook I've ever used so far in my entire 20 years of living. And yeah, I need to do some more sketchbook videos. So I just need to work in my sketchbook a little bit more. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna work on it. Why not film it a little bit, because it's been a while. So for the supplies, I have some Micron like lighter pens inside of here, but mainly these are Tammet markers. These are probably my favorite markers to use. I used to definitely be like a Crayola Super Tips girly, and I am still. Actually, let me go get it. I'm saying this, and I really should be using these supplies more because it was money. There we go. So I have these Crayola Super Tips. They're supposed to be 100. I think some are in my like other pencil case other than this, and then some might be randomly spread out throughout the house. But I think I will use some of these because it's been a while. But I used to be a super tip girly where I would use it for any like basic coloring that I needed to do, especially ones where I was like afraid of bleed through. Crayola Super Tips was the one that I would use because a lot of paper that I would use it with held it so well. And my Tammet markers here are a really like good alternative to that. So I use it a lot in my sketchbook. But I also use it a lot in my bullet journal as well. If you've been on the channel and have seen my like bullet journal spreads, a lot of them were made with these Tammet markers. And this is the opposite side of that page. I don't have to worry about the bleed through. So I gotta say, it's really good. I quite like it, and so we're definitely gonna use that today. I'm also going to use my Arteza, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm gonna use these skin tone portrait tone markers as well, because I like whenever I do like other than portraits, when I have to use browns and pinks and just flesh tone colors for like animals or food, still lifes, whatever it is, I quite like using these. And then I just have two mechanical pencils. I have a pen because it's been a while since I've sketched with pen. I have an eraser as well. So yeah, we're gonna start on this page here and we're just going to begin. So I'm going to transition to voiceover Star and we're gonna see what we end up doing.
Hi guys, hello. So you guys know the drill. I am working in my sketchbook today, and I'm not drawing just one thing in particular. It's gonna be like an assortment of things that I found on Pinterest or just from my head, like the avocado that you'll see me draw and then color. So while I sped up the sketching process, I keep the coloring process in real time so you can get an idea of just like how it works. It's nothing spectacular, but just how I go about working with markers is kind of just vaguely color blocking them, whether I work from light to dark or vice versa. I work around colors that I have already put down, unless I'm putting down details or working in a smaller area with a darker color, then I'll add that color directly on top. But anyways, I don't know, you'll see what I mean later on in the video, or like as the video progresses. So to start off, I drew an avocado first. I have painted avocados in my sketchbook before, as well as sketch and color avocados with color pencils. I don't think I've done it with markers, I don't believe. But, yeah, so I decided that, to ease my way into all of this, I wanted to draw avocados. They're easy for me, and I can kind of get a vibe of just, like, how I should go about using these markers. In the last couple of pages of my sketchbook, and just kind of the last couple of months in general, really since the summertime, I've been using markers more, and they have definitely become one of my favorite mediums to work with. Like, I'm not frightened anymore to use them. I'm not scared to color things in, because I have this fear of like messing things up, or because that thing will, I don't know, I guess become uglier from the original sketch. I don't know, I feel like I just had to start off slow and then also really small, and then repeat that action over and over again. Now, whenever I'm thinking of doing something with color, the first thing I pull out is my markers. My Tammet markers specifically, it's not like alcohol markers, and you're not gonna get like any crazy blends. But I like the look and feel of these markers on paper, and like I mentioned in the intro, I can use them for the most part without any worry with how they'll react to the paper. If I want to work with like, if I do want to work with blending or want to work with something that is more smooth, then I'll pair that with my Arteza markers or my Vigor or Viger Fun markers. And I feel like it's just the best of both worlds, honestly. So I feel like that now that I have some sort of consistent base or like workflow, I want to try to go beyond that. I don't do it in this video, but maybe I'll do another video next year with some exploration. But I want to work with different mediums like on top of each other, like how some people would paint and then add color pencils or like gel pens on top of like their paintings, or some people will sketch with like pens or inks and then use like highlighters to add simple colors on top, like things that you probably wouldn't think would pair well together. But I do think that before I do a potential video with some exploration, even if I actually end up doing the video, I'll do that on my own time first, because I feel like I want to build that up before I share it out. And I'm not just saying like adding markers on top of like micron liners or something like that. Like I have done that a lot before. I'm like, instead of keeping things separate and just using markers here, just painting here, I should work with combining mediums I never have like before. I don't know. I feel like y'all get the point. So with that said, I'll just start segueing to the next focus of this video, which is just kind of discussing a little bit about balancing art this year and just kind of what my end of year reflections look like. Before we will end off the video talking a little bit more about the art. Something that ended up happening this year that hasn't happened in the last 2 years prior, since I've been doing art consistently, was all the breaks that I've taken from doing art this year. While at first, earlier in the year, I was not entirely upset about the gap that I first took in the beginning of the year, and then, that ended up trickling to the end, I knew that I wasn't too thrilled about it. Because I was so serious about art, I didn't really take any breaks prior. Even if I took gaps from posting, I did not go more than a day or 2 days without actually doing art. I think since the year is coming to an end, I've realized that this was actually a blessing. While posting every week in 2022 got me to understand the YouTube flow, it definitely was stressful. So when taking a break, I saw what worked or didn't work with how I was mentally approaching video making. So instead of creating art with YouTube in mind, this year I drew more myself with the possibility of maybe turning it into a video. And there were slight chances of when I thought of YouTube first, but that was probably maybe once or 2 times, I think. So whenever I wasn't posting, which honestly was a lot this year, and whenever I wasn't actually drawing, my time was spent doing other things. I put more focus on my sister and I's second channel. Even though I didn't do a lot of videos this year on that second channel, I did more than I originally thought I would, because in 2022, I focused more on the art channel than that channel. And because I put more focus and more thought and thoughtfulness into making those videos, next year I definitely want to do more. Our second channel is really growing, y'all. It's called Genstar. It's a commentary review channel. It's always linked down below if you're interested. Other than that, or on top of that, I was able to spend more time writing and reworking my webcomic idea. Back in the summer, I started on, a pre-production on the comic, where I drew character sheets and really wrote the comic out, or the beginning stages of the comic out. But it was definitely all daunting to move on with the expansive world building that I created. So I definitely reeled back on it and decided that I was going to focus on a smaller and just another comic to release before the end of the year. Well, I didn't do that, which is not shocking at all, because I ended up working on a children's book for a class of mine from until the end of the year. So comic book work was not gonna happen. So yeah, I'm letting myself pass. But recently I had a writing session with my sister where we focused on writing and doing some edits of our own stories, and I started to rework things. And for now I have a good flow, and I'll see what I can do with what I have. What I have now. And everything is still in its early stages, and I'm just rewriting the beginning 6 to 8 chapters that I had already written. But I'm actually happy about that for now. I'm happy about that for now because I think like I'm getting the ball rolling, and I don't think I'm gonna keep giving myself this goal of like by the end of the year, by the end of the year, by the end of the year. Well, I do want to give myself some sort of restriction and kind of like some sort of deadline. Things just happen, and like I said, I did a children's book this year, so comic book work was not going to happen. So, I want to be, I don't know how to say this, like, allow myself to not be upset that I didn't meet a certain goal. Anyways, moving on. I think the last thing that I want to talk about when it comes to me, like, about balancing art with other aspects of my life is drawing my OCs more. Because I was doing less art and posting less, whenever I did work on art or had the motivation to do so, because I got art block a lot, like so many times this year, I drew my OCs more. There were simple pieces, but in the past, I only ever drew like one OC only one time a year. And this year, I was able to draw multiple pieces of multiple different OCs. It just fills me with so much joy that I was able to do that. Art will always be a passion for me, regardless if I continue to post like 5 to 10 years from now. But downscaling how much I do, like art in a year or in a week or whatever, it opens up more room to write my like silly little comic ideas, write more video essays for YouTube, on shows and movies and other medias that I like, get back into reading again, and just spend time just relaxing or just doing, like not doing anything in particular. Because, I have those moments. But my thoughts about doing like that stuff doesn't revolve around like I should be doing art and building some type of audience around it instead of doing whatever else that I was doing. While it would be nice to build something out of my passion, and while I'll still strive for that next year and beyond, I'm not going to obsess over that or get mentally upset about that, like about not achieving that, because that's just not good for me. Yeah. So to end my thoughts on all of that, 2023 overall has been a good year for my art. I think I drew my OCs, I drew fan art, I drew other things not entirely tied to those two, I guess, categories. I got my first and only commission so far. I started posting new content like my bullet journal spreads. I started posting more on certain platforms that I haven't had done in the past, like TikTok. I also took classes I did not think I would, like graphic arts, and did things I never thought of doing, like writing and drawing my own children's book. It's easy to forget all the highs I had this year when I think about my numerous art blocks or gaps and breaks I took from art itself. But I'm going into this new year with this new mindset because I'm only 20 and I don't need to negatively spiral from, I don't know, not the lack of progress, but the lack of action, or of like the lack of doing, if that makes sense. Like I said, it's just not good for me at all. So I'll just take a step back, reflect, and come back when I am ready, like I did so many times this year. I think that's why I said like those gaps ended up being a blessing mentally for me. So I guess even with that being said, I do want to challenge myself next year. What I was gonna do for the month of December was to post every single day on at least one platform, like social media platform that I have. So like on Monday, maybe it's a YouTube video. Tuesday, a Tumblr post. I started a Tumblr last month, by the way. And then like Wednesday, I'll post something on Insta and Twitter. Thursday might be TikTok Reels and YouTube Shorts. Friday, maybe like another video or post on some other platform like Insta. And then repeat. Well, I think for like a solid week, maybe more, I don't actually know, I was able to do that. Finals hit me hard and I really dropped that quick. But on the bright side, I can just transition what I laid down on my 31-day calendar and then just try again for January. I don't have any 2024 goals set yet, but stick around for next year for my annual goal video that I always do. But definitely this challenge is something that I do want to do. Even if I don't accomplish it for next month, I can just try again. There's 12 months in a year, so I have plenty of chances. Yeah. Okay, so let's round out this video and now go back to the piece at hand. I don't have too much to say, so I'll just say what the little that I do have. I flip-flop with using the Temet markers and the Arteza ones. I think once or twice I used the Crayola Super Tip markers, but primarily it was just those two. I have used these combo markers since the summer, and honestly, it's definitely my go-to. I also added words and a slight reflection to the page for just what was going on in my head that month, or not that month, that day that I was recording this. I've been doing these like art journal notes on some of my sketchbook pages, and sometimes it's like double spread pages, so there's like a lot of writing, and sometimes it's just a few words, but it helps fill out the empty spaces and just ties the random assortment page together. If I don't do like reflection, like art notes in a way, if I'm watching something, I would write down and reflect about whatever I was watching at that moment. I have so many pages that are kind of almost identical to what I did in this video, but I like that. The vibes are there, and like I said, I don't know, I just like that. After I was done with this page, I showed my family. My twin and fellow owner of the channel, Jen, she liked it. My mom liked how I drew and colored the avocado, and my younger sister liked the avocado and the salmon. So, I don't know, food art for the win, I guess. But yeah, I think this video is coming to a close. I still have some things to post before the year ends, but I think this kind of accurately sums up my piece and thoughts for the year and just how I will try to enter the next. So yeah, I don't know. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. It really means a lot. So I truly appreciate it. Talk to y'all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, it truly means a lot. Jen and I will see you in the next video. Have an amazing day. Stay safe, stay warm. Peace. Bye, guys.